Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be predicting the scores of week 13 of this 2021-2022 Championship season. Games, as always, coming thick and fast. More games this Tuesday and Wednesday. But before we get into those predictions, let's have a quick look back at how well we all got on in week 12. So in week 12, I came away with 12 points overall and 2 perfect scores. But top scorer of the week with a superb score of 19 points was the Dugout Football Channel. Doug also had four perfect scores for the game week. Also, other high scorers, Shane O'Donnell came away with 4 perfect scores as well and 17 points. And then you had the likes of Mark Chapman with 13 points, Civic Safar with 12 points, Cameron Morgan Beattie as well with 12 points. Liam Grayson also with 12 points, so some really good scores in week 12. So how does that affect the overall table now? Well, I'm still on the top of the table with 113 points, but Shane O'Donnell is creeping up behind me ever so slightly now on 106 points, and after Doug's amazing haul of points last time out in week 12, he is now on 93 points, 1 point ahead of Liam Grayson, and Liam is 2 points ahead of Ojo 52. So it's all to play for. Week 13 is almost upon us, more points to gain there. Let's crack on with week 13. As usual, I'm up against the clock. See if we can get it under 2 minutes. Don't think we will, but at the count of 3, 2, 1, let's go. So first up, we've got Bristol City coming up against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest still continuing to climb up the table. 4 wins now in their last 5 matches, and Bristol City, unsurprisingly, losing again at home against Bournemouth. So I think Forest, with the form at the moment, it's going to be a tight match, but I fancy the away side in this one, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 away victory. Then next up, we've got close neighbours in Nottingham Forest, Derby County coming up against Luton Town. Luton had a great win against Millwall last time out, and bottom of the table, Derby gaining another draw. That was at home against, away against Preston. Prior to that, they had a good home draw against Swansea. Difficult one to predict, this one. It's in the evening, kick-off Tuesday. I'm going to go for a draw in this one, 1-1. Then we got QPR coming up against Blackburn. QPR, tough match on the weekend against Fulham, on the end of a 3-1 drubbing, you could say. Fulham were very good in that match. Blackburn, I think they drew, didn't they, on the weekend? They did a home 2-2 draw against Coventry. So another tight one to predict, but I think the R's at home in London. Blackburn have got a long way to travel, so I'm going to go for QPR 2, Blackburn 1. Then we've got Sheffield United coming up against Millwall. Sheffield United had a fine victory against Stoke at home on the weekend, 2-1. I think they'll continue that because Millwall, okay, you shouldn't look into these the last match, because Millwall were undefeated in 5 matches prior to the weekend. But I'm going to stick with Sheffield United, the Blades, in this one, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to the home side. Then we've got Stoke City coming up against Bournemouth. Stoke faltering, as we've already said, against Sheffield United on the weekend. And Bournemouth, top of the league, 5 wins out of their last 6 matches. A good win against Bristol City away from home at Ashton Gate. They're now 3 points clear of West Brom in second position. So I'm going to have to go with the Cherries in this one, and I'm going to go for Stoke 0, Bournemouth 1. Then we move on to the Wednesday fixtures. We've got Fulham coming up against Cardiff City. Fulham, 3rd in the table, good win against QPR. Cardiff could have opened the scoring against Swansea, but after that first 20 minutes, it was all Swansea, and Cardiff looked, well, beyond hopeless. I was at that game, incidentally. If you want to see the vlog on that, jump onto Nathan's channel, link in the description below. But we move on, Fulham 2, Cardiff City, unfortunately, 0. Then we've got Huddersfield coming up against Birmingham. Huddersfield, another good win on the weekend. They find themselves in 6th position, 2-0 home victory against Hull City. And Birmingham still slipping down that table, finding themselves in 19th position. 5 defeats now out of their last 6. I can only see a home victory here for the Terriers, and I'm going to go for 2-0. Then we've got Hull City coming up against Peterborough. This is 21st against 23rd. Difficult one to predict. Peterborough on the weekend suffered a defeat against, I think it was on the road, wasn't it, against Middlesbrough. But I think they're going to gain something in this match, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Then we've got Middlesbrough, who I've just mentioned, coming up against Barnsley. Middlesbrough, I think that was they've actually won 3 of their last 6 matches, but their form is up and down. Whereas Barnsley, now in the relegation zone, they only won 1 match this season, and they're on 4-game losing streak, losing last time narrowly against Reading 1-0. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 home victory to Middlesbrough in this one. Then we've got Preston coming up against Coventry. Preston, the king of the draws this season. They've drawn half their matches, 6 matches in all this season, and Coventry drawn last time out themselves, but are in 4th position. Really good form, only losing, well, 3 times this season out of 12. So I'm going to go for another draw in this one. Preston 1, Coventry 1. Then we got the Jacks of Swansea coming up against West Brom. Even though Swansea demolished Cardiff 3-0 on the weekend, I wasn't that impressed with the way they performed overall, and against a better team than Cardiff. I think they will struggle a little bit at times, although they are improving themselves. But I can see West Brom gaining a victory away against the Jacks in this one. I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 away victory to West Brom over the Swansea. Swansea don't concede many goals at home. And then we got Reading coming up against Blackpool. Reading up and down themselves, do find themselves in 7th position, but they have won 5 of their last 6 fixtures. Blackpool improving themselves, find themselves in 15th position. Defeat on the weekend. That was only their 2nd defeat in 6, as a matter of fact, and that was against Nottingham Forest, who improved themselves. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win to Reading. Let's stop the clock on 4 minutes and 49 seconds. There we are, guys. That's my predictions for week 13 of the 2021-2022 Championship season. It's a quick turnaround after these fixtures midweek with games. For week 14, we'll be starting a game on 14. It's at the moment Tuesday, Saturday, that sort of thing. Real tough league, the Championship. But thanks once again for joining me. Remember to leave your predictions in the comment section. Make sure to see if you can catch me in that league. But for now, enjoy the Championship matches over the next couple of nights, and indeed the Champions League ones as well. And I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers, guys.